Shalom, welcome. So this is the first lesson in a three-part series on the experience of joy. I'm paraphrasing a lesson I gave during the Zoom weekly meditations. And hopefully if you're watching this and you haven't been on those Zoom meditations, you can join us every Sunday. We do them 3 o'clock Mountain Time. So I'll be doing 2 more lessons. Lesson number 2 on the experience of joy and lesson number 3. So in this first lesson on the experience of joy in our tradition, I want to point out that normally we think of joy as something that just sort of happens to us. And we have some joy in our lives because something good happened, like that. But the Kabbalists over hundreds and literally thousands of years, and in the Torah and the Tanakh, we're asked to be joyful. We're asked to have joy. We're told even by many of the great Kabbalists, including people like the Baal Shem Tov and Rabbi Nachman, Rabbi Akiva, Simeon Bar Yochai, that in order to reach the higher states of consciousness, we have to have this thing that they call joy. In Hebrew, the word is simcha. So if we're being told this, it's not just a happenstance. It's not something that just happens when we win the lottery, or we fall in love, or these things happen in our lives occasionally and we have joy. It's something that we can actually practice. So in this first lesson on joy, I'm going to talk about what the great masters have told us to do in order to experience joy from our practice. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to look at the word simcha, which is joy. So it's spelled, as you know, Hebrew goes from right to left. It's spelled Shin, Mem, Chet, Hey. And I wanted to, in this first lesson, look at these first 2 letters and the order of them. Shin first and Mem. This tells us something about our practice of joy. So if you know from our Sefer Yetzirah class, Seder HaShilshilot means the order of creation, the order of formation, right? And what we learn is that this pure silence, pure consciousness, this divine love and joy that's within us comes from Aleph, and as creation is forming from within us, it moves into Mem and then moves into Shin and other letters like that. These are called the mother letters, the beginnings of creation and formation. So this movement from the divine, going out and out and out and out, from the absolute into the relative, moves in this particular order, in this way, with these vibrations. When we reverse that and move within to go from the relative to the absolute, it goes the other way. So then we have Shin, Mem, and then the pure silent Aleph. So this Simcha, right away with these first 2 letters, is showing us that we want to practice joy. We need to experience this diving within us. And it's built into the Hebrew letters, Shin and Mem, and the energies of those Hebrew letters. So like this, we know that the first step is to have this mindlessness meditation practice where we do our breathing and we experience our letter and we go deep within from the conscious thinking level all the way down into this pure silence where we experience real divine joy. What I'd like to do today in this experience of joy, to fortify it in its fullness, is add a little something to our meditation practice. But I'm counting on you, because I know you're experienced meditators, to not confuse this. So what do we have in our meditation practice? We begin with this special Kabbalistic breathing, unifying breath with breath, like that, unifying right brain, left brain. And then we begin to articulate the letter that we were given to meditate on, just mindlessly. And then we go to normal breathing and internalize the letter. and we're thinking the letter internally, gently and effortlessly. This is mindlessness meditation. There's no narrative. We're not thinking joy, we're not thinking sadness, we're not thinking anything like that. We're just experiencing what comes from the vibration of the letter. So we do that 10, 15, 20 minutes like that. And then towards the end of our regular meditation, I want you to experiment, explore, just introducing the word Simcha in your internal practice. So now we've thought our letter, whatever our letter may be, maybe it's Ayin, maybe it's Pei, it's Hey, whatever the letter is, and we're going back and forth, having running and returning, the letter's disappearing, we're having thoughts, we're having no thoughts, no letter, whatever it might be. We notice that it's now 15 minutes of our 20-minute meditation. We introduce that name, Simcha, that word, right? Now we have the finest, littlest amount of mindfulness in that we know it is our understanding, our binah, that Simcha is joy. It's divine joy. So we just add this little thing towards the end of our regular meditation into our practice. Whereas with our regular mindlessness meditation, there's no narrative. We're not thinking about joy, not joy. But when we enter Simcha, and we have the little Simcha, we have just the understanding that Simcha is joy. And we're experiencing it. I don't want any effort, any forcing, or anything like that. So do this, add this to your meditation if you like it, and we'll talk about how it shows up for us when we have our next meeting, which will be next Sunday. Okay? So that's it for today, and I hope that you enjoyed that lesson because it's about joy. Shalom.